Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Iyun HaMishna. Today I'm going to focus on Perek Vav, Mishnah Vav, Sechas Terumos, Machlokas between Eliezer and Rabbi Akiva about repaying the Kohen if you inadvertently took Truma from him. Eliezer says if you want to pay back something, a different species than what you took wheat, and you want to pay him back grapes, right? Grapes for the wheat. You could. The Rav says you have to make sure that you give him the exact same volume. So if you took a kilogram, or let's say make it easier for Americans, a pound, you have to pay back a pound of grapes, a pound of wheat or a pound of grapes. Grapes are more valuable than wheat, so therefore you can pay it back. Obviously, if you want to pay them back in pumpkin seeds, so that's worth less maybe than wheat. I don't know if it's worth less than, maybe not, maybe, I don't know, maybe barley. To pay barley for wheat, so barley is as valuable. To give him a pound of barley is not good enough. It has to be the better min. It has to be more valuable. But the Rav says very clearly that if you want to pay him back grapes, you stole a pound of wheat and you want to pay back a pound of grapes. You can't say, oh, 3/4 of a pound of grapes is equal to the value of a pound of wheat, so I'll pay him 3/4 of a pound. No, you have to pay back the exact measurement, right? Because like we said before, that the Kohen does not own the value of his truma when you give it to him. He doesn't own the value. He doesn't own he's not in Rashus, so he can't do whatever he wants with it. He can't just, he could do certain things with it. It belongs to him, but he doesn't have the complete Rashus. For example, it becomes Tameh, he doesn't have the Rashus to eat it anymore. He has to only burn it under his Tafshilo. So he only has certain rights to the truma, and therefore, if someone steals it from him, you're not entirely losing him the value. If you're not mazik the truma, so therefore you don't pay the value of the truma. You don't pay the value of the chulin. There's a punishment though if you steal. And that's the halacha. If you steal an amount, a volume, let's say a liter, or a gallon, or something like that, or a weight, a pound, so you have to pay back that pound, because you're restoring. That's the idea, that you're restoring the physical item. All the Kohen owns is a physical item. He doesn't own the value. He doesn't own the metaphysical, which is the Rashus, which he has the right to do whatever he wants with it. So the Shalom he has, the Rashus he doesn't have. So therefore, according to Belazar, you can't give him something else. Just make sure it's the same volume. And Rabbi Akiva is more machmir. He says, no, you have to pay him back exactly what you gave him. So you stole a pound of wheat, you have to give him exactly a pound of wheat. What's this machlokas based on? So they said the Mishnah says it's based on the pasuk. The pasuk says v'nas l'kodesh hakodesh. So according to Belazar, anything that's royally is kodesh, and the Rebbe Akiva is medayek ha kodesh, exactly what you stole from him. So what is this machlokas over here? So obviously, I said before, both agree, or Eliezer and Rebbe Akiva agree that the truma belongs to the Kohen. He is the owner of the truma, but he's not the complete bailim. He's not the complete owner, because he doesn't own the value of what he has. And it's a restoration payment. You have to restore him the physical object. So according to Rabbi Eliezer, even though he doesn't own the value of it, but what he does own is he owns the certain rights. He has rights on the physical. He has a little more bias over here, according to Rabbi Eliezer, meaning he doesn't just own the physical thing, the physical wheat that you give him. He also owns the rights to trade for something better, right? If he has wheat, he could trade it for grapes, right? That's a question over here. If you give a Kohen truma, right, you give him a pound of wheat, could he go to another Kohen and trade it for a pound of grapes? I mean, maybe yes, maybe no. We'll have to see if the Mishnah has discussed this. But to what extent does he have reshus over it? So according to Eliezer, right, everyone agrees he only owns the physical things, but he has limited reshuyos. He could eat it. He can smear himself, he can anoint himself, but if it comes to he can only burn it under his tafshil. Does he have the right to be machlef it with somebody else? So according to Eliezer, maybe he would have the right to be machlef with somebody else. So therefore, I have the ability to do barter with it. So as long as I'm not losing, right, I can pay him back with a pound of grapes because it's worth more. According to Akiva, no, he only owns the physical thing. Maybe to be machlef with somebody else, to switch his truma with somebody else, a different Kohen, is not okay. Or to switch it with Yisrael and give it to Yisrael. Yisrael is going to pay him a lot of money because he wants to have the special truma that belonged to Kohen, I don't know, Rappaport, a very famous Kohen, Meyuchas Kohen. He wants to have it and put it in his collection, in his aron, in his break front. I don't know, of that famous bottle of wine from Rappaport. So according to Rabbi Akiva, no, you only own the physical thing, literally only the physical thing. You can't exchange it for anything else. The Kohen really only owns the physical thing. He doesn't even own the ability, he doesn't have the reshus to exchange it for something else. That's how he paskins for Rabbi Akiva. You really only own the physical thing. That would be the conclusion of today's share. Hope to see you tomorrow.